Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Campbell Sports Center for a Sunday midday matchup between the Sarah Lawrence Griffins and the Yeshiva Maccabees. Sarah Lawrence Griffins have finished the first half of conference play. They've played every opponent and sit at an impressive 4th place in the standings with a program record 10 wins already on the season. They are 7-3 in conference play, but as a result, they're in prime position to not only make the playoffs, but potentially even host a playoff game. But before they can do that, they'll have to get by the Yeshiva Maccabees, who currently sit at 0-10 in conference play and 1-14 overall. Still looking for that first win in the Skyline Conference as we introduce the starting lineup for the Sarah Lawrence Griffins. A familiar face, number 2, Gabby Hudson. Sarah Terrio starting the game as well, the impressive freshman. Jersana Moore getting her 3rd start of the season, a fellow freshman. And to complete the trio of freshmen, number 24, Jade Ing Stewart. And we round things off with Kayla Dortch, who has started every game she's played in, every game of this 15-game season so far. So I spoke to both coaches ahead of the game, and Coach Rather said the key to this game is to play fast. That's the identity of Sarah Lawrence basketball. That's what they want to do. They want to get out in transition. They're ranked very high, 2nd in the conference in points per game out of transition. So they want to push the pace, but obviously not too much to give up points on the other side, because on the other side, the Yeshiva coach, Coach Cohen, mentioned he wants to absorb that pressure, absorb the pace, and take advantage of the spacing that might result from Sarah Lawrence trying to push the pace. Perhaps too much, but here we go. We have Dortch and Hanan in the circle to tip us off. Hanan gets the tip to Emkraut. He's pushing it immediately to Sigmund. In the corner to Cohen. Dribbling into the paint. Dump off to Hanan, who's surrounded by 2, finds a little dump off. And it's Cohen for the easy lay. 2-0 Maccabees. Good start for Yeshiva. Cohen, who had a season-high 10 points in the previous matchup between these two teams. Sarah driving left, picks her dribble up, gives it to Moore. Dribbles right into the lane. Little dump to Dortch, who goes up but can't get it to go. Emkraut with the rebound. Calling out the plays. Yeshiva gets set. Sigmund on the wing, gets a pick from Hanan. Surveying her options, launches one. That's too strong. Ending Stewart on the rebound. As we said, they like to go in transition. But nothing on the transition here. Terrio slows things down. Gives it up to Moore. Going down Broadway. Wants to go for a scoop, trying to draw the foul. Instead, it results in a pass to Terrio, who tries to go up, but ball's poked free, and now it's Sigmund in transition. Elad Hudson with the steal, picked her pockets. And a forward pass to Moore, but a carry off the dribble, put her hand under the ball. Ref saw it. Turnover, Maccabees ball. And here's that pressure that Coach Cohen was talking about. He knew it was coming. And there's a poke from Terrio. Clever, intelligent poke from behind. They didn't see it coming, and now she goes up for one, gets her own rebound, goes up for a second. That's blocked. Hanan with block under the basket. But with the immediate pressure, the ball will remain with the Griffins. Fortune Hanan, who had a career-high 6 blocks against Manhattanville in Yeshiva's most recent game. And Stewart set to inbound. Surveying, finds Hudson, who goes up for a short jumper. That's too strong. Immediately rebounded by Sigmund. Sigmund on the wing. Now it's Cohn in the corner. Shoots a three. That's off to the left. And it's Terrio pushing the pace. But all the Maccabees are back. Hudson now in the corner. Finding that short jumper and finding some contact. And Hudson's heading to the line. As Coach Rather rallies the troop over for a quick huddle. Some quick directions as Hudson will take the first. First one rolls in. Hudson shooting 72% from the free throw line. And she drains both to tie things up at 2. And here is the pressure. Can Yeshiva find their way through this full court press? Sigmund back to M-Kraut, but the Griffins back off a bit. Ask Yeshiva what they can do in the half-court set. Sigmund crosses back over, but there's a steal and a forward pass, as we see so often. Hudson now with the easy lay on the other end. Dortch with the full court assist. It's exactly how Sarah Lawrence wants to play this game. To extend the lead to 2. Now Sigmund going up, it gets blocked and fouled by Dortch. As Naomi Sigmund goes to the ground. Hope she's okay. It seems like she is, as she can get up on her own strength. But no, Naomi Sigmund will go to the line for 2. Sigmund, a 63% free throw shooter on the year. Gets the friendly roll on the first. Rather encouraging his team to box out on this one. But Sigmund gets both to go, tying things up at 4. Hudson, quarterback into play. And Stewart clears out the corner. Dortch with a pick. Hudson in the lane. Goes for the lay, but that's too short. Scramble for the rebound. Sigmund picks up the pieces, and now it's a quick 2-on-1, but Hudson with a quick recovery. Makes it difficult on Leitner for the layup, but Leitner somehow gets her own rebound, and now it's M-Kraut with the 3, and Dortch with the rebound, as that one did not fall. Now Moore in transition. Out to Ing Stewart from the corner. 3! Oh, that rattles out. M-Kraut with the rebound. Slowing things down as we had an up and down moment. Sarah Lawrence bench encouraging the defensive unit here. Pick from Hanan. M-Kraut trying to find Hanan under the basket. Does find her, but Hanan can't convert. Now it's Cohen with the layup attempt. That doesn't go. But on the third attempt, M-Kraut, one of the smaller players on the court, gets the offensive rebound and the easy 2. Maccabees up by 2. Can the Griffins respond? Terrio dumps it off to Dortch, who can't quite get that one to bank home. So it hits the back iron. And a launch, a torpedo from half court. M-Kraut trying to find Cohen. Instead, finds the out of bounds wall. And Audrey Madison and Darby Staten entered the game for the Griffins. Here comes Hudson using that screen from Staten. Backs off, tries again, under the basket, reverse lay. Oh, beautiful technique. And we're tied at 6. Ing Stewart with the pressure on Sigmund. Sigmund finds Cohen. Cohen's going quick. She's gonna attack the basket, tries to find Hanan under the basket, but there's Staten to defend. And they call a travel. The defensive Pressure from Staten. Enough to make things difficult on Hanan, resulting in the turnover. Madison inbounds to Hudson. Hudson hits the play button. Staten with the pick. Ing Stewart with the floater. That doesn't bank home, but it's Dortch with the rebound. A lot of contact, but everything's good, and Ing Stewart with the offensive rebound and the putback. The Maccabees scored on their third attempt in one possession earlier. This time the turns for the Griffins as Sigmund pushes but pulls it back out. Emkraut calling the number. Hanan with the pick. Emkraut with the long 2 attempts. She nails it. Uses the space created by that pick. Takes a long jumper over the defender and ties things up at 8. Hudson at the elbow. Cohen trying to take a bite. Ing Stewart from deep. Hello! 3-pointer from Jade Ing Stewart. She can shoot it. And letting them know, and Staten with a quick steal off the inbound, but somehow it ricochets right back to Emkraut. And we will take a timeout, ladies and gentlemen. The Griffins, 11. The Maccabees at 8. As we're 6 minutes into this first quarter. Both teams at 1 foul apiece. It's been a relatively clean game so far. A couple of turnovers on both sides. And Jade Ing Stewart with the most recent basket, saying, if you're going to give me that much space, I'll shoot it. And she'll shoot it well to give the Griffins that 3-point lead that they now have. And as we will start things back up, the last time these two teams met, the Griffins won 84-58. In the Baruch College Gym, the Yeshiva home game. Now Griffins bringing the pressure again. Sigmund receives it from Emkraut, who gets it right back. Starts calling the plays. Staten now on Emkraut. But they back off. And there, Emkraut gives it right up to Dortch, who says, thank you very much. A nice gift and an easy steal. Now Ing Stewart going down the lane, a little scoop. Somehow doesn't roll in. But Ing Stewart battles for the ball on the other side, and Staten picks up the pieces and gives it right back up to Ing Stewart. She's gonna try again. Down the lane, little floater, doesn't go. But on the rebound, on another rebound, 4th time, nothing going. As the Griffins can't convert from under the basket. And eventually the ball falls in Hanan's hands, and they foul her off the rebound. Unfortunate series of events for the Griffins there, with effective rebounding, but the conversion not as effective. As the Maccabees line up with 4 in the backcourt to break this press. Emkraut looking for a long pass. Passes it long, and there's Kendall Stevens, but somehow the ball ends up with Cohen. And the refs call her on a travel. Cohen confused, arguing that she didn't possess the ball, so she couldn't have traveled at all. Refs disagree. Moore going left. And they call Stevens on the offensive foul. The screen just a little bit too hard and still moving. Results in the offensive foul and an unnecessary turnover for the Griffins, unfortunately. As Moore and Ing Stewart pressure the ball, but ball finds its way to Mali Danker. Gives it up to Sigmund, the leading scorer for the Maccabees. Crossover, long 2, a rainbow of a shot, but Staten's there to rebound. And Ing Stewart's pushing the ball. But Sigmund and the Maccabees recover. But they're leaving her open on the three-point line. A little short on that. And after a tip, it'll stay with the Griffins. Ing Stewart, who is shooting 24% from three. Receives the ball from Staten. Goes for the inside move instead. Shows he can do a little bit of everything, but that one flies over the basket. And now it's Sigmund on the other end. Schwartz, who just entered the game, tries a corner three, but that's short. It's short from Schwartz, and Cohen picks up the pieces. Passes it to Hanan. Now Sigmund tries a three, and she nails it to tie things up at 11. 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Now the Maccabees do come out strong early in games. The first time these two teams met, the Maccabees led after the first quarter, but it was the second half that made the difference. But here, Ing Stewart under the basket, goes up and gets the and one. That's as tough as it comes. Through the contact, somehow gets the scoop to find the bottom of the rabbit hole. Ing Stewart, the freshman from Manhattan, went to Fieldston High School, showing her toughness there as she'll shoot the bonus. Nothing but net. 3-point lead for the Griffins. As Rather gives the full court press instructions. Making it difficult. Molly Danker now. And Schwartz in the corner. All the way back to Sigmund, who tries another three. And that one finds the bottom of the net. 2 for 2 from three-point land. Naomi Sigmund showing she can shoot the ball. Terrio now. Gives it up to Moore. To initiate the play. Gets a screen from Stevens. And Stevens gets the ball. Quick passing. Audrey Madison. 4-3. Answers right back for the Griffins. Madison, a fantastic three-point shooter. A three-point champion at a previous basketball camp. With a quick release. Now Mally Danker tries one from the other end, and she responds right back. We've got a three-point shooting contest, ladies and gentlemen. All square at 17. These two teams shooting lights out. And now Terrio with the and one. They can't stop her. She went right to the basket. Through contact. Contact didn't even seem to bother her one little bit. And she goes up and in. And gets the bonus. Shoot one as Perry Yoon enters the game with immediate rebounding duties. The senior, Terrio, nothing but nylon on the free throw. 40 seconds left in the first. 3-point lead Griffins. They back off with the pressure. M. Kraut leads the way for the Maccabees. Holds up the number for the play. Hanan with the pick. Doesn't get the ball. Leitner gets the ball instead. Who tries to find Hanan. Somehow it ends up with Hanan under the basket, who tosses one up. That doesn't go. Scramble. Now Amkraut with the long two. That bounces out. And Stevens gets the rebound, and Terrio in transition. Gets fouled as Mally Danker stuck out her arm. And they call her on the crime. That's the fourth team foul for the Maccabees. So they're not in the bonus yet. So this will be a sideline inbounds as Moore receives it from Terrio with 8 seconds left. What can they cook up? Terrio with the ball. 4 seconds left. He's got to go. Madison, 4-3. And that bounces out. We'll end this quarter with the Sarah Lawrence Griffins 20 Yeshiva Maccabees 17. Scoring started off a little bit slow, but 3-pointers from both teams, lighting it up from deep, resulting in a high-scoring first half in the end. As our game leader so far are Naomi Sigmund with 8 points already in the first. Impressive start, 2 3-pointers, 2 for 3, and a pair of free throws to add on to that. And Ing Stewart also with 8. Impressive start from both sides. And as Coach Rather drawing up the play for the next quarter. I spoke to Sarah Lawrence assistant coach Jordan Medina, and she said, similarly to Coach Rather, that the key is to play fast, specifically mentioning that transition play. And we've seen the Griffins in transition already a couple of times, getting some quick baskets after a smart steal. But she also mentioned defensive communication. And perhaps we already saw 1 or 2 examples of where the Griffins can improve on that. The Maccabees setting a lot of screens for their guards, creating some space. And the Griffins, on occasion, didn't have a clear response. Perhaps dropping a little too far, opening up a jump shot, or on the other hand, opening up a lane for the roller to receive the pass and go up. But part of the story so far is also rebounding. Maccabees are dead last in the conference when it comes to rebounding. Griffins hover somewhere in the middle. If the Griffins can out-rebound the Maccabees, gain those extra possessions with the high field goal percentage offense that the Griffins impose on teams, you'd think they'd be able to come out with the win. Now Moore driving, finds Dortch underneath the basket, but took an extra dribble to hang on to the ball there as Moore launches one, but that doesn't go. Amkraut looking for something in transition. Finds Schwartz, who sees a lane to the basket, gets a bump, goes up and in. Lead back down to 1. As this time it was the Maccabees in transition. Finding a lane and finding 2 points. Now Terrio at the top. Hand off to Ing Stewart. Picks up her dribble back to Terrio. Fakes the 3, hands it off to Moore. Hard drive, goes up, but it's blocked by Schwartz, who keeps the ball in her team's possession by throwing it off of Moore while she was in the air. Great basketball IQ and quick reactions from Alana Schwartz there. Hudson on Sigmund. Sigmund picks up the ball right at half-court line. That's dangerous, and that's exactly why it's dangerous. That's a backcourt violation. As soon as you pick up the ball right across the half-court line, you don't have a lot of avenues because you can't go backwards. Only pass option there was to go backwards. And that's a turnover and Griffin's ball. Now it's Hudson. Getting the pick from Dortch, opening up that short jumper from Hudson, and she's money in the paint. That short jumper often working for Gabby Hudson, who is an impressive first in the conference for points a game from a short jump shot. And Sigmund on the other end, too strong on the layup. Here goes Terrio. And they call her on the double dribble as the ball momentarily was pinned against Terrio's leg, is what they're saying. Coach Rather is confused. Rather confused. Rather. My apologies for the bad joke. As Emkrot now with a quick inbounds, trying to catch the Griffins, sleeping. Melly Danker with the long 3, and that goes. Melly Danker stares down Terrio. I don't know if you want to do that because Terrio will respond. They tie everything up at 22 apiece. Yeshiva, just like the first half. In the first game, these two teams met, shooting lights out from three-point land. And now Sigmund sees an opening, but it's Hudson there to respond. Refs say a toe was on the line. The ball will remain with the Maccabees as Hudson couldn't quite reel it in while staying inbounds. Schwartz to inbound, finds Sigmund from deep, and that goes in. The Maccabees can't stop making three-pointers as Sigmund nails one from the corner. Yeshiva already 5 of 8 from deep. 3-point lead to the Maccabees. Here comes Moore. Tries to dump it off to Dortch again, but after a pinball, Sigmund picks it up. And now it's Emkraut. And the crossover. Now looking for a teammate, Hanan at the top of the key. Hanan hands it off to Sigmund and gives it up to Schwartz from the other corner, and that one rolls out. As the Maccabees finally cool down from three-point land, Ing Stewart with an opportunity to respond for the Griffins. She drives, long two, that bounces out, and Sigmund with the rebound, surveying the court in transition, but she sees a lane instead, but it's blocked, and apparently that's a foul, as there was allegedly contact in addition to the block from Dortch. So Naomi Sigmund will shoot 2 to extend her point total, already at 11. Sigmund, who is 9th in the conference for points a game. Gets the first one to go. And she's trying to climb that leaderboard and help her team win this game. Sigmund goes 2 for 2 from the line. 5-point lead Maccabees. Griffins need to find something on offense. Thankfully, they have one of the most effective offenses in the conference. Here goes Terrio. Finds Stevens. Gives it up to Moore, but she can't quite handle the ball, and Mally Danker is there to pick up the pieces. And as both teams were hustling for the ball, Jersana Moore gets called on the foul. Always tough calls because the ball is loose. Everybody's bumping each other, trying to get to that ball. Moore perhaps a little too eager there. Bumping a Maccabee, giving them the opportunity to inbound from the sideline. Cohen looking for a teammate, finds Sigmund with Hudson on her. Sigmund looks back to the coach for the play call. Hanan, hand off to Cohen, doesn't go as planned, but Sigmund retains it. Out to Mally Dank, who tries another 3, way short. Moore with the rebound, going quick. But the Maccabees recover quickly too. They know the Griffins like to push it. Here comes Terrio with a long 2. That one somehow doesn't bounce in, but Stevens with the rebound, but immediately gets blocked. And an and one from Hudson. She knew that was tough. She was excited as soon as she heard that whistle. After the block from Hanan, Hudson picked the ball up, put it right up, through the contact from Hanan, somehow getting the shot to go as well. It seemed like significant contact there and some contact on the ball as well. As Hudson will try to cut the lead to 2. And she does. 4 minutes into the second quarter. Griffins now with that pressure again. Cohen dribbling left. Terrio trying to pick her pocket, but there was nobody else to assist her for the steal. Now Leitner driving, dumping it to Anon for the easy up and in. Maccabees 29, Griffins 25. Maccabees respond after that, and one from Hudson. Terrio looking at her options, gets a pick from Stevens, goes by one, goes by another, and puts it up. Converts the two, avoids the block from Hanan. She could see it coming, but Hanan couldn't stop Terrio. Cohen looking for Hanan, finds Hanan. Inside move, going one way, now the other. That lay is too strong. Who's gonna grab up the rebound? It's Ing Stewart. Going down the court, slowing things down a bit. Using the screen from Stevens. Now Terrio down the lane. Picks up her dribble, out to Madison. And Ing Stewart. Back door from Terrio. She gets it, and after a bump, and a lay, gets the and one. Strong post play from Sarah Terrio there. And I'll be honest, it's hard to stop that. There's little you can do. There's a strong dribble under the basket. There's no way you can get to that ball without fouling, because Terrio makes sure of it. And Terrio ends up at the charity stripe for the bonus. To retake the lead for the Griffins. And she does. Solid free throw shooting from the Griffins so far, as they're 100% from the line. And they'll take a quick timeout. As I was talking to Coach Cohen from the Yeshiva Maccabees before the game, I asked him what he liked about his team, what he sees as encouraging signs, and he immediately told me, you know, people often focus on the wins and losses naturally as a marker of how well a team is doing, but he is proud that this Yeshiva Maccabees team is resilient as can be. Even though they're still looking for their first win in conference, they don't let it get them down. They stay strong, they stay motivated, they stay positive, and he sees it every practice, every game. They give it their all. And it's exactly what you have to do, and they're showing that resiliency right here, as they're only down by one against a Sarah Lawrence team that is historically good. Sarah Lawrence, who was on a 6-game winning streak, lost a tough game away at Merchant Marine and has now won the last 2 games to find themselves in the 4th spot in the Skyline Conference. Sarah Lawrence has never made it to the playoffs, has never won 10 games, has now won 8 of their last 9, if you can believe it. As we start things up again, Schwartz at the top. Trying to get it to Hanan, does. Sigmund now with a drive, long 2, and she drains it to retake the lead for the Maccabees. Yeshiva shooting the ball very well tonight. I say tonight. I'm used to it being night. It is mid-afternoon. Terrio driving, trying to find Stevens. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Results in a turnover for the Griffins. Terrio thought Stevens was going to go one way. Stevens went the other. And the pass goes out of bounds. Maccabees slowing things down. Again, trying to find Hanan in the high post. Goes Leitner, long 2, hits nothing but air. Terrio gets seemingly slapped immediately, but refs say it's all good. Madison, 4-3, hello! She's a 3-point shooter, and that's Exhibit A. Madison with a quick release and a ton of space there. She'll take that every day. Her favorite player, Steph Curry. And so far, she's shooting like Steph Curry. 2 for 3 from three-point land. Now Sigmund responds with an air ball. As that goes right out of bounds. Perhaps the contest making things Difficult enough for Sigmund there, who has a very high arcing shot. Almost touches the rafter every time it goes up. But it's been working for Sigmund today so far. Now Hudson gives it up to Terrio. Back to Hudson. Fake in a drive. Dump to Stevens. Small jumper, and that's good. Beautiful offense from the Griffins. Driving, kicking, creating space, taking the open shot. Exactly what you like to see as a coach. Now Schwartz trying one from long two, and 2 consecutive air balls for the Maccabees as they start to cool down after a white-hot shooting quarter and a half. Now Griffins with a 4-point lead. Can they extend that lead going into halftime? 2 minutes, 34 seconds left. Moore dribbling it up. Picks up her dribble, wanted to pass it, can't find the pass. Has to pass it somewhere, and Steven picks the ball up in the corner. Back to Moore. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ing Stewart making her move. Tough move and gets fouled. Draws the contact as she was surrounded by multiple defenders. It's even a question who committed the foul. They say Cohen. Cohen committed the foul. Maybe my eyes deceived me, but I didn't think Cohen was close to Ing Stewart there. But regardless, Ing Stewart drains the first. And the Griffins remain 100% from the line. And Ing Stewart drains the second. Eight for 8. Very first game of the season, Griffins didn't shoot that free throw too well. Coach rather asking the team to stay after the game as Cohen is surrounded by multiple players and shuffles her feet because of all the pressure. That's a turnover and effective defense from the Griffins. And like I was saying, Coach rather after that first game asking his team to stay later to practice free throws. You can tell they've been practicing. So they're shooting lights out from the charity stripe. Now, Stevens under the basket, makes her move, but it's blocked by Hanan, but she picks it right back up and then ends up with a jump ball. Stevens was trying to go up again, but I believe it was Hanan who could get 2 hands on it and force the jump ball. Now, Emkraut leading the Maccabees once again in the half court. Once again, a pick from Hanan. And once again, a long 2 from Emkraut. That one rattles in, cutting the lead to 4 with 1 minute, 30 seconds left in the second. Ing Stewart. It's the screen from Staten, rejects the screen. Instead, going corner, pivoting. And they call another jump ball as Emkraut could get her hands on that one. Griffins line up in a stack. Ing Stewart gives it up to Stevens. Gives it to Moore. 10 on the shot clock. Thinks about a dump, can't dump it. And yet another jump ball. 3 consecutive jump balls on Griffin's possessions. As we enter the last minute of the half, Griffins remove that full court pressure. Emkraut tries another long 2. This one doesn't go. Interesting shooting night from the Maccabees, where they either seem to hit nothing but net or nothing but air. As the Griffins soaking up some time. Ing Stewart from deep bounces off, and we have 30 seconds left in the half. Maccabees pushing it. For some reason, it looked like a shovel of the feet, but Sigmund for three. That's too strong. Stevens with the rebound. Less than 20 seconds left. Moore can dribble it up. Now the Griffins can take the last shot of the half. A little confused as to why the Maccabees took a shot so early in the shot clock. They could have forced the last shot, but after some contact, nope, maybe I imagined it. I thought there was a Maccabees hand in there. But the Stevens pass ends out of bounds. It'll be Maccabees ball with 0.9 left in the half. Has to be pretty tough to imagine they score out of this. And Schwartz almost does. They went long, given the full court press from the Griffins. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude our first half at the Campbell Sports Center. Griffins 37, Maccabees 33. An impressive 15 points already from Naomi Sigmund. On the other end, Ing Stewart with 10 and Hudson with 11. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Maccabees were also close to the Griffins in their first matchup at half, but then things changed in the second when the Griffins took the lead and extended it as they ended up with a 26-point win. So we'll see if the Griffins can do the same thing today and pull away in the second half. But for now, we'll take a break, and I'll see you back here in 14 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined here by the Sarah Lawrence assistant coach extraordinaire, Ben Piacquadio. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Was hoping perhaps at an even bigger lead, but we're leading by 4 so far. What are your thoughts on that first half?
We really just have to tighten up our defense. We are a team that loves to be in transition, so once we start tightening up our defense and getting the ball up the court, I know we'll see even better things for the second half.
Beautiful. And can you give me a sneak peek into the adjustments you make, or do you make any adjustments at the half in a game like this?
We're really going to stick with what we know. We know that we love to grind teams down, and we're not going to go away from that every single game. If you've watched us all season, you know that we're going to grind you down. We're going to put up points. We're going to be an annoying We're going to be an annoying defense. So if we do all those things right, these next 2 quarters will look a lot different, and we'll be happy going forward into the next game, hopefully. Yeah,
seems like a grindy game, and the team is on a historic run, 8 out of 9. Already beaten the program record. How is the team feeling overall?
The team's great. A lot of the girls on this team, they're just so excited, so happy. I would say all the girls, actually, but they're all just so excited, so happy, and they're looking forward to this second half of the season as we're starting to play everybody again.
Exactly. It's going to be an exciting second half. I'll let you go back to your team. Thank you so much for joining me, Ben.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. I'll see you later. We have 1 minute left until the second half starts here. As I'll run through some quick stats. As I mentioned, for the Sarah Lawrence Griffins, Hudson leading the way with 11. Ing Stewart not far behind with 10, and Terrio with 8. Familiar faces, but an important contribution from Audrey Madison, who already hit 2 out of 3 three-pointers. Important three-pointers, as the Maccabees have been lighting it up from 3 as well. Maccabees 5 from 12, shooting 41% from three-point land. You've got to think there's a chance that dips in the second half. As Coach Ben mentioned, the Griffins like to grind teams down, and this Maccabees team plays a limited number of players and sometimes perhaps gets a little tired in the second half. Their second half performances haven't been as strong as their first half performances. But let's see if they can keep this game close, or if the Griffins can pull away and get another Skyline Conference win, as we are on in the second half. Terrio on the wing gets a screen from Dortch. Picks up her dribble, pivots, finds Dortch underneath the basket. A bit of a mismatch, bit of contact. That doesn't go, it rolls out, but the last tip is by Hanan. Griffins keep the ball under the basket. Griffins getting set with 3 players outside of the three-point land, and Ing Stewart from the corner. A little short on that one, and on the rebound, Cohen this time with the last tip. Hudson making that rebound difficult. Ball stays with the Griffins. Now they're on 4 corners of the paint. Moore receives it, drives, left hand, scoop. That's off. Schwartz with the rebound. And once again, M. Kraut at the point. Maccabees with their first possession of the second half, and Hanan goes in for the layup, and she gets it. 2-point lead now for the Griffins, as Maccabees get the first points of the second half. Hudson, hand off to Moore, hand off to Terrio. A lot of movement in this offense as Terrio tries to give it to Ing Stewart. Couldn't quite reel it in, but Ing Stewart with the smart pick in transition. Hudson is quick enough to retrieve that ball from Ing Stewart and get the transition 2. Lead back up to 4. Ing Stewart's family in the crowd showing incredible support to the incredible freshman. Now here comes Cohen, jump stop, out to Schwartz, trying to paint 2. Now Cohen with a wide open 3, That's too strong, though. Ing Stewart with the rebound. Ing Stewart still with the ball. Who's going to stop her? Looks like nobody, but there's a tussle now. As Ing Stewart finally gives it up to Hudson, who tries her hand at the paint. Little short bunny, doesn't get it to go, just a little too strong. And couldn't get it to bank home either. Moore on the transition defense. Does a good job of stopping Schwartz, but Schwartz stops up and under. Nice move from Alana Schwartz in the transition there to secure the 2 points. An ambitious pass there, but last touch, Maccabees. Moore set to inbound. Ball goes to Dortch under the basket. One-on-one, post move, but the scoop is too much. And now Kraut to Schwartz. Inside to Anand, who gets a bump from Dortch, who was a little late to the party. Went straight up, but the bump causing the foul. And now Audrey Madison will come in for Dortch. Coach Rather now trying a smaller lineup as Hanan can't get the first one to go off to the left. But what about the second? That one rolls in, lead down to 1. Hudson pushing the pace. Picks up her dribble, gives it to Moore. Launches one from 3. That's too far to the left, but Terrio is there to pick it right back up. Now Madison, Terrio says, you better shoot that, and that's exactly why she wanted her to shoot the 3 ball. Madison with yet another 3. 3 for 4, 9 points for Audrey Madison. Having a good night. Good afternoon. So used to being in this gym at night. And on the other end, Kraut gets fouled on her drive. Lead is now back to 4 as it was at the half. But Kraut with an opportunity to cut into that as Hanan will head to the bench. And Ashkenazi will come in. Kraut off the mark on the first. Kraut, usually an 83% free throw shooter. Gets the second to go. 3-point game. Hudson coming down. It's backdoor pass to Terrio, who goes up. A lot of contact. 2 free throws for the freshman. Great passing from the Griffins there, as they were playing Terrio tight out in perimeter. Terrio identifies the space, cuts to the basket, receives the pass, and draws a foul. Nothing but net on the first. Terrio, 74% free throw shooter. Drains both. Nothing but net on those two. Amy Stewart on Kraut. Now Schwartz, defended by Moore. As the Maccabees set things in motion. Now it's Sigmund at the top of the key. Crossover, tries to find a lane. Somehow finds her way under the basket, but was a little off balance there because of all the defensive pressure. Now it's the Griffins in transition. A home run pass from Hudson to Terrio. Terrio can't get the little hook shot to go out to Madison. Long 2. That bounces out, but again, it's Terrio with the offensive rebound. Tough rebounding, and again, she's there to pick up her own miss. Of course, she was hoping that one of those would fall, but now it's Moore going up. Too strong, and she gets her own rebound. Now it's Madison with a short jumper, and that one rattles in. I lost count of how many attempts that possession included. Seemed to be at least 5. So I guess 5th time is the charm. And as the Griffins lead by 7 now, the Maccabees take a timeout to talk things over. Madison having a season night already at 11 points with that little jumper, as both Moore and Terrio getting their own rebounds. And as coaches always say, you got to follow your own shot. These shots, mind you, were under the basket. It makes it a little easier to follow your own shot. But still, strong rebounding. And Madison with the conversion. And you can feel a bit of momentum, a bit of energy with the Griffins here. So now finding that pace, finding their offense, getting a few stops. Can they keep it up? Can they take this momentum and convert it into an even bigger lead? Emkraut at the top. Tries to get it inside, but the Griffins know that's exactly what they like to do. And Sigmund deftly avoids a backcourt, who now has to launch one up. There's only 4 seconds left, but finds Cohen in the corner. That one too strong, Moore with the rebounds. And she pushes it with a strong dribble. Finds Hudson. You can see there's some added intensity now with the Griffins as Terrio drives, goes up on smaller Schwartz, picks up her own pieces, and gets the putback to go. 9-point lead for the Griffins. Who's going long? Terrio makes sure Hanan is covered. No full court press now. Hanan at the top of the key. Hand off to Emkraut. Tries to drive, but there's too many Griffins' hands in between. And here you go. This is Sarah Lawrence basketball as Hudson in transition. Doesn't get the first, but gets the second. 11-point lead for the Griffins. The extra intensity grinding down the Maccabees here. Can the Maccabees get back into this game? Can they match the Griffins' energy? Screen from Cohen as Sigmund tries one from deep. High arcing shot, but Ing Stewart with a great box out. Putting herself in a prime position to get that rebound. She goes coast to coast and lays it in. Who can stop Ing Stewart? Answer nobody. Not on that possession. She picks up the rebound from one side of the court. Goes all the way to the other. The Maccabees could do nothing about it. Now Sigmund uses the screen from Hanan, crosses back over, has to pick up her dribble, and there are the Griffins once again. The defensive pressure proving too much for the Maccabees. Moore in transition, finds Terrio. That's money every single time. That little shot is just too easy for Sarah Terrio. 15-point lead all of a sudden. As the Griffins showing exactly why they are 4th in the conference at the moment. Inside pass to Hanan, gets tipped. Now Schwartz tries a layup, that doesn't go. Terrio with the rebound, strong. And the ball gets kicked around. I thought somebody would call a kick ball, and of course, as soon as I say that, there's an actual kick ball called. That one on Terrio. It'll remain with the Maccabees. We get some substitutions. Leitner in for Sigmund. And Molly Denker in for Cohen. The Maccabees' leading scorer goes to the bench. But can they keep the offense up without her? Inside pass to Hanan. There's Madison, though. Now Schwartz. Cross-court pass to Leitner. Torpedo there. And some hands in from, I think, Madison. Nope. It was contact from Terrio on the violation there. As Kayla Dortch will come in for said Sarah Terrio. Some extra applause as Terrio had an impressive third quarter already. Terrio now up to 14 points as Hanan drains the first. And the second doesn't go. Ing Stewart with the rebound. Hudson setting things up. Moore. Screen from Dortch and a screen from Madison. But things open up for Moore. Shot a little off. And the Maccabees won't need to rebound that one, so it goes straight out of bounds. Schwartz to dribble it up. And good pressure from Moore on Schwartz, and that's a 10-second violation. Exactly what Martin Rather was looking for. A lot of positive energy coming from the Griffins bench there to Jersana Moore as she single-handedly forces a turnover with ball pressure on the point guard, Alana Schwartz. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left in this third quarter. Griffins. Ing Stewart goes to the basket, but the scoop hits the backboard and nothing but the backboard. Here, Alana Schwartz trying a drive of her own. Arms get tangled, and she'll go to the line. With a chance to cut it to 12. Little bit of frustration coming from Alana Schwartz. But she sinks the first. Alana Schwartz also a phenomenal free throw shooter. 82% on the year. As you can tell, a practiced routine results in 2 made free throws. 12-point lead for the Griffins. Sigmund back in the game for the shooter, Schwartz. Coach Rather directing the play. Ing Stewart and Madison clear the way, and here comes Hudson in the corner, trying the other way. Pivot, tried for a nice pass to Dortch. Bit of a no-look attempt there, but a little bit too much zip on that one for Dortch to be able to reel it in. Pressure from the Griffins. Continues. Now the full court press, trying to read the passes, but the Maccabees find their way through the full court press, and Leitner goes up, and it grazes the rim. Easy rebound for Moore, who's pushing things once again. Now they slow things down. Ing Stewart's looking for the post pass to Dortch, and on the interior pass, Dortch gets fouled. Fortune Hanan trying to deny the pass, instead commits the foul. As the Griffins stack up at the elbow here. Moore set to catalyze the play. Griffins spread out. Moore finds Dortch. Long two. Nice shot from the senior, Kayla Dortch, who is not just a post player, ladies and gentlemen. She can shoot it, and she shows it there. Naomi Sigmund has to pick up the ball, but finds Mally Denker, who goes for three and drains another. Mally Denker now 3 for 4 from three-point land, 75%, having a great game from deep. Hudson gets a screen from Dortch and gives it up to Dortch for the up and in layup. That pick and roll proving effective for the Griffins with 30 seconds left in the quarter. Is a clattering out of bounds. Thankfully, it seems like both players are okay. Hudson attempting the steal as Hanan was there as the intended recipient. And with 30 seconds left, Hudson, Ing-Stewart, and Moore will go to the bench as Stevens, Staten, and Yoon enter the game. Bit of a strategy from Coach Rather to give some of his starters some extra rest because there's only 20 seconds left in the quarter, so they can sit down and then get the break from the third to the fourth quarter. As Schwartz drains one from deep. Oh, sorry, no, that was Emkraut with a hand in her face. Impressive work, and the Griffins can't quite get one off to end the third quarter. As we will end this one, Griffins 58, Maccabees 48, 10-point lead for the Griffins. Started the second half with a 4-point lead, and they extend it to 10. Impressive half from Sarah Terrio, who already has a double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Ing-Stewart, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And Hudson, 15 points, 3 rebounds, also 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And when I talked to Coach Cohen before the game, he wanted to give a particular shout out to Tali Cohen, Simone Emkraut, and Naomi Sigmund for the way they've led this team. And I mentioned that Coach Cohen was proud of the resilience this Yeshiva Maccabees team has shown as they still look for their first win in the conference, but they give it their all every single game. Simone Emkraut playing all 40 minutes against Manhattanville, their most recent game. And Coach Cohen said that Tali Cohen, Simone Emkraut, and Naomi Sigmund were all vocal, encouraging, positive. And the real foundation for this team to remain resilient. Now, how resilient can the Maccabees be in this fourth quarter, down 10? Can they keep things close? Can they mount a comeback? Or will the Griffins pull away? Terrio on Emkraut. Molly Denker tries another three because she's white hot, and that's exactly why she tries one. Having a career shooting night. 4 for 5 from deep, cutting the lead to 7. Now Ing-Stewart picks up her dribble, has to find someone, finds Hudson, who goes right, then behind the back, but finally finds Fortune Hanan with the block. She was waiting under the basket. Now the Maccabees in transition. Emkraut to Molly Denker, inside to Hanan. Terrio with the defense, but Hanan scoops it up and over. Cutting the lead to 5 all of a sudden. Griffins need to watch out. Need to find an answer. Dortch gives a pick for Ing-Stewart. Can Ing-Stewart answer? Yes is the answer. Ing-Stewart with a big-time 3. Ice in her veins. One of the most calm, cool, and collected basketball players you will ever find. 30-second timeout here. Lead 8. Coach Rather making sure things don't get out of hand, that the Griffins don't hand over the momentum to the Maccabees here in the fourth quarter. perhaps making some adjustments as the Maccabees are shooting very well from three. And as both assistant coaches for the Sarah Lawrence team indicated, defensive communication, a key to this game. Can they cover the shooters, especially those that are white hot from deep, while still making it difficult to drive the paint. Now more on Emkraut. A lot of ball pressure. Now Leitner to Malidenker. Terrio on her. Sigmund with more on her. Great defense. Nothing going for Sigmund. Sigmund receives it back from Malidenker. Gets a screen from Fortune Hanan, but a hard hedge from Dorch results in a lot of ball pressure. Sigmund somehow finds it to Leitner. 2 seconds left. Emkraut has to launch one, but she drains it in the last seconds of the shot clock. Incredible defense from the Griffins as the ref indicates that that was actually a two-pointer, a long two. So the Griffins catch a bit of a break there, but they perhaps deserved more after a great defensive effort, and they called Dorch on the offensive foul as she set the screen. Saying perhaps she stuck out her leg a little too much. That's the 4th personal on Dorch, and she will head to the bench as Coach Rather can't risk Dorch committing 5 fouls and being forced to exit the game. So, Maccabees down by 6. Cohen gets blocked from behind from Ing Stewart. Smart player. Saw the opportunity and grabbed it. Poked that one free, but it stays with the Maccabees. What can they cook up? 4 players on 4 corners of the paint. But Fortune Hanan finds her way under the basket. Sarah Lawrence Griffins asleep at the wheel. Leave her wide open for an easy 2. Now all of a sudden a 4-point game. Are the Griffins in trouble? Terrio receives the ball. Tries to find an inside pass, but after a deflection, it goes out of bounds as the leg of a Maccabee prevented that dump to Staten. Now, 2-person game between Sarah Terrio and Jading Stewart. Now, Staten, she can shoot it. That's a little too much on the first. And after another tip, they'll stay with the Griffins again. Griffins doing a great job on the offensive glass. Griffins already have 40 rebounds compared to the Maccabees' 28. As we'll take a quick break here. And they will review this out-of-bounds call. Refs gave it to the Griffins, but the Skyline Conference does have replay. So a challenge from the Maccabees on who touched it last. Cohen was convinced that it was Hudson who touched it last, which would mean that the ball would go to the Maccabees. As Ashkenazi helps out her teammates, giving all the players some water, and the refs have the call. And the call stands. So the Maccabees will be charged with a timeout as that challenge failed. Sarah Lawrence will retain possession. As Moore is set to inbound this play. See if that field challenge will come back to haunt them in a potential close game in the fourth quarter. 4-point game now. Couple of screens, but and Cohen jumped over the line on the inbounds defense. So they redo that inbounds, and now it's Terrio. Top of the key, little fake, that's effective. And one for Terrio. Absorbs the contact from Sigmund, but that doesn't stop her from putting it in the bucket. And to be fair to Sigmund, there's not a lot that will stop Terrio from putting it in the bucket. Sarah Terrio, the 5'9", first year from South Berwick, Maine. "16 points on the game, opportunity to make that 17. And she does. 7-point game. Full court pressure from the Griffins. Ball goes to Emkraut. Defensive chance from the Sarah Lawrence bench. Cohen on the wing. Sigmund. Pressure from Moore, but Sigmund gets by her. Dumps it off to Mally Denker. But everything's covered by the Griffins. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Emkraut tries a long two. That bounces off the back iron. And it's Hudson who immediately looks up, but perhaps sees the lane for herself, but also a couple of defenders. And the pass is picked up by Moore. Now Terrio for three. Big time three from Sarah Terrio. 10-point lead Griffins. As the Maccabees almost dared her to shoot that three, giving her space on the perimeter on multiple possessions as Terrio beat them backdoor earlier in the game. That's the problem with Terrio. If you're too tight, she'll go backdoor. If you're too far down, she can hurt you from three. Now Hudson in transition as the Griffins get a steal, and they are deadly in transition. Hudson dumping it off to Terrio. Now a 12-point game, and the Griffins gaining some momentum, on a roll. Hanan surrounded by three players, and the Griffins pass it up. Home run pass from Terrio all the way to Moore, who scoops it, but it doesn't go. And then commits the immediate foul. Was perhaps a little too eager on that, had to corral the ball. As she was still corralling it, the scoop just about rolled out. That is Sarah Lawrence basketball, though. They can collapse on you quick on defense, and then as soon as they grab the pieces, grab the ball, look up immediately, and they have plenty of players that are quick enough to beat you up the floor, and plenty of players who can deliver that full court home run pass. But didn't convert on that one. Now Emkraut tries one from three. Doesn't go. Stevens on the rebound. Emkraut still on the floor. Quick numbers advantage for the Griffins. Ing Stewart trying one from three. That rattles out. Hanan on the rebound. Gives it to Schwartz, who now tries a home run pass of her own. Gets it to Molly Denker. But she backs things up. Now Hanan tries to get it to Schwartz, but Sarah Lawrence Griffin's hands in between Stevens to Terrio. Molly Denker avoids the contact, and the dump to Hudson. That's an easy two-pointer. She'll make that every day as the Griffins extend the lead to 14. Energy from the Griffins bench. Emkraut desperately trying to get back in this game with a three, and she drains that one. 11-point game now. It's exactly what the Maccabees needed to stay in it. Now the Griffins slowing things down a little bit. Hudson waiting for the screen from Stevens. Elbow jumper, that's a little too strong, and on the rebound, Stevens is there, and she draws the foul as Mally Danker made contact with the arms, tried to go for the block, hit the arms instead, and Stevens will shoot 2 as Moore comes in for Ing Stewart, and Leitner comes in for Sigmund. Two shots for Stevens. Can't get the first to go. 47% free throw shooter. Splits the pair. Moore picks up the straight pass immediately from Molly Danker, and Moore can't lay that one in either, but Terrio there with the rebound, and she can't get the putback to go, but instead gets the and one. Sarah Terrio, perhaps padding her offensive rebounding stats, gets her own rebound, and perhaps she wanted some contact too, because 3 points is better than 2. And on the second putback attempt, gets it to go, absorbs the contact, and drains the free throw. 15-point game now. The Griffins starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. Not quite there yet. Should take a quick timeout, or a full timeout rather, as all players will get some rest. Everybody that was on the court allowed to sit on the bench for a quick minute there. And Sarah Terrio, I mean, we're used to impressive numbers from this first year, who's already won 3 Rookies of the Week, or Rookie of the Weeks, and is trying to get that Rookie of the Year nod. She is at 25 points. She's shooting a perfect 6 for 6 from the free throw line, and added on 12 rebounds for good measure. As in the rebounding battle, the Griffins 46 to the Maccabees 30. If you have essentially 16 more possessions just based off of rebounding, it's going to be difficult to lose, especially given how effectively the Griffins can put the ball in the basket. The Griffins shooting nearly 40% from the field today, which is actually low for their normal doing. And now some extra pressure as Schwartz has to heave it, and heaves it right out of bounds. Coach rather excited about that one. Clearly talked about the defensive pressure in the timeout there, as the Griffins press results in a turnover. And as I was saying, the Griffins usually shooting 43% from the field. Very impressive set of numbers, as Stevens now under the basket, holds her balance somehow, lays it off to Hudson, who gets her own rebound, and was perhaps trying to draw the foul there, but Hanan did a good job of keeping her arms up straight. No foul, no bucket. None out to Schwartz, who tries to drive. Kick to Emkraut. Tries one from 3. That's too short. Stevens taps it on the rebound. And Molly Danker, perhaps unaware of who touched it last, tried to keep it in bounds, but stepped out of bounds herself. And now it's Griffin's ball, because I believe it might have been Stevens to touch that ball last. Anyways, 15-point lead for the Griffins. 3 minutes left in the fourth. A score here would surely make things comfortable for the Griffins. Backdoor cut from Madison. Impressive offense. Exactly what you want to see. Great vision from Dortch on the assist. Madison, who is so dangerous from three-point land. The Maccabees know this, perhaps putting too much pressure on the perimeter. Madison sees a lane, cuts to the basket, gets the pass from Dortch, and now Schwartz can't convert the three, and Dortch picks up the pieces and makes sure there's no jump ball as she rips it free. Moore in transition to Ing Stewart, who goes by a couple of defenders, but let the ball hanging. And now it's the Maccabees in transition. Schwartz tries one up, and for some reason, Audrey Madison gets called on the foul. An and one for the Maccabees. Audrey Madison holding her hands up straight to indicate that she thought it was clean defense, but perhaps there was some contact with the body. Either way, Alana Schwartz to the line for the extra free throw. And she sinks that one as Perry Yoon enters the game. And Jade Ing Stewart dribbles things up. Dortch in the corner. Keeps the handle. Oh, and now Madison trying that backdoor cut again. This time Dortch thought she was going to stay on the perimeter. Bit of miscommunication as that pass goes out of bounds, and it's turnover for the Griffins. 14-point game, little under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It would be difficult for the Maccabees to get back into this one, but it can be done. You'd have to imagine they'd have to rely on some three-point shooting here. Because in 2 minutes, you'd imagine the Griffins would also be able to score at least a couple. So if you want to come back into this one, have to rely on your shooters. But they have plenty of shooters. Naomi Sigmund, 3 for 7 from 3. M. Kraut, 2 for 4 from 3. Nali Denker, still 4 from 5 from 3. But on the court, M. Kraut, Schwartz, Hanan, Sigmund, and Cohen. Sigmund goes for 2, a little too strong on the layup, but Hanan is there for the rebound. Can she keep it inbounds? Yes. Now it's M. Kraut pushing the pace. Backdoor to Schwartz, who floats one up and in. Nice backdoor cut and find from M. Kraut to Schwartz. The lead is down to 12. Griffin's gonna milk this clock a little bit. Ball goes to Perry Yoon. Pressure from Cohen. But Perry Yoon holds on to it, but Cohen eventually rips it free. Cohen now going down. M. Kraut with the long 2, and that goes right down the rabbit hole. All of a sudden, it's a 10-point game, exactly what the Maccabees needed. 4 quick points. The Griffins need to take care of the ball here as they milk the clock. Are the Maccabees going to go for a foul? No. Instead, just keeping up the pressure. Ing Stewart from 3. That's a little short. 40 seconds left in this game. 10 points. The difference. Sigmund going quick. Cohen from 3. That bounces out. Sigmund with the offensive rebound, though. Has to navigate 2 defenders. Finds Schwartz, who goes for the drive. And the floater. Kendall Stevens called on the foul. And Schwartz with the opportunity for a 3-point play. It's 14 points, only a little over a minute ago, all of a sudden. 8-point difference. And Schwartz the opportunity to make it 7. So a timeout. From the Maccabees, as they see perhaps a glimmer of hope to get back into this game, claw their way back into this game. The Griffins, who had an impressive third quarter run, but the Maccabees dampened that run a little bit at the end of the third quarter, keeping it to a 10-point difference. And the same is replaying itself here in the fourth, where the Griffins were out to a healthier lead. A 14-point lead only a little over a minute ago, and now lead quickly cut to 8 and potentially 7. Key here for the Griffins. You cannot turn the ball over. And you have to make your free throws. Given that there's 26 seconds left in this game, shot clock will be off for the remainder, which means as soon as the Griffins have the ball, maybe the Maccabees try for a steal, maybe a 10-second violation, even that, slightly risky. Most likely, they'll try to foul immediately and bring the Griffins to the free throw line. And on the rebound, it's Dortch. And a quick timeout from Coach Rather to advance the ball, because under 1 minute off of a timeout, although the ref is under the basket currently, yeah, there we go. Ref's colleague pointing to the front court sideline where the inbounds will be taken. So, as per usual in basketball games, if it's even relatively close at the end, last couple of minutes here, we'll see timeouts from both sides, 26 seconds left. Will take a lot longer than 26 seconds. On the court for the Griffins, Yoon, Madison, Stevens, Ing Stewart, and Dortch to inbound. Who is set to receive this ball? Ing Stewart opening herself up. Pressure from the Maccabees, and M. Kraut forced to foul. Will be Ing Stewart to the line. Nope, my apologies. They had one foul to give. That was their fourth of the quarter. The next foul will be straight free throws, as that somehow was kept in by Mali Denker, but on the scramble, Yoon is there to force a jump ball. An impressive save from Mali Denker there, who anticipated the pass from Dortch to Madison, but as she was falling out of bounds, managed to keep the ball inbounds. This time, Ing Stewart immediately pressured by 2 and fouled. This time, Ing Stewart will go to the line. But Mali Denker, after saving the ball, there was a scramble for that ball, and Perry Yoon was there for the Griffins to force a jump ball, retain possession. First free throw from Ing Stewart, too strong. But nothing but net on the second. 15 seconds left in this game. Maccabees got to go. What do they have? Mali Denker taking a long three. That hits nothing but the backboard. Hanan on the rebound. 6 seconds left. They have to shoot. This is pretty much over now, as M. Kraut tries one from deep. That doesn't go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will end the game. The Sarah Lawrence Griffins 78. Yeshiva Maccabees showing some resiliency, staying in this game, keeping it competitive all the way through the fourth quarter. They end with 69 points, a 9-point win for the Sarah Lawrence Griffins. Perhaps not their strongest performance, but they were without senior guard Colleen Coughlin. And as assistant coach Ben said, you got to grind some out. They're good at grinding out teams, and they secure the win, an important win, as they now improve to 11 wins on the season. They are 8-3 in conference play. And they are, just double check this, they are 2 games ahead of the current 5 and 6 seeds, Farmingdale State and Purchase. So Sarah Lawrence now in prime position to make it to the playoffs and to potentially host a game, knocking on wood still, as the Griffins in their first game of the second half of this conference schedule. And I want to see if we might get one of the Griffins players up here. If so, stay tuned if you want. Give me 1 second. And we'll round things out, ladies and gentlemen. This will be the end of the broadcast. It was a pleasure being with you. Entertaining game here. Sarah Lawrence, 78. Yeshiva Maccabees, 69. My name is Pete Marston. I'll be here for the remainder of the season. It was my pleasure. I hope you have a great Sunday. And the next Sarah Lawrence game, by the way, is this Wednesday against St. Joe, Long Island. Sarah Lawrence beat them by 5 on the road. Can they do the same at home or perhaps win by more? We'll see. I'd love to see you then. Again, it was my pleasure. Thank you and goodbye.